Hey, it's Michael and Texas Jake, and we're out at Moni Reservoir. As you can see, the lake is still frozen, but the sun is shining, and it looks like it's gonna get the spring is coming. All the snow that I've been showing you is pretty much melted, and we're just waiting for that everyday sunshine and good warm weather coming. Uh, Not here to do the weather report. Again, I like to ask a lot of questions because I think that a lot of people, through the masses of advertisements on the YouTube for getting a Filipina wife, it's quite extensive, and some of their personalities and things that they aspire for in life and what they really want out of life. And they're wanting to come to the United States. I often think about it, and the age differences, and the willingness to accept, to come here. I don't know what for, unless they have careers and they want to, pursue some of that here, or to just if they think everything in the United States is all tinsel and good times and luxury. It's probably a lot different than it is there. I mean, as far as modern conveniences, especially in the home, having electrical appliances and things like that, and having them in a quantity that would be considered ridiculous in the Philippines. But what I think that a lot of guys that maybe they don't consider, just going there for a time or a vacation, they're going to have one heck of a time, and there's going to be a lot of women there to choose from. But one thing that you have to consider is it's not only your expense to get there, but it's your expenses that will probably be, in the thousands of American dollars to try to get them to come back. So I think that a lot of that stuff, all those things that I have asked, the Filipinas to share with the prospective suitor, here in the United States, that you might want to ask the question. Not only do they ask the question, do you have a Senemar? Do you have children? Are they under or above the age of 8? And also, what are your plans and, your hopes, as far as coming to the United States? What if you save to do that, if anything? I think that people there are just barely getting by. Hey, Jake, you're a good boy. You love my nose? Yep. So I think a lot of that needs to be considered, and I don't think that it is sometimes. I think that a lot of people go there and just think that everything's going to just be just so easy to do, and it's not going to be very difficult. However, life throughout my times, anyway, on this planet, and I'm sure in other places, that we're just getting by. Everywhere you look, everyone's just getting by if they're doing that. It's just very difficult. And I say all this to say that some of those Filipinas there that are just dancing around thinking that that's all that there is to life is just a dance and shaking your junk, and thinking that the guys, of course, we're attracted to that. If we're not, then we're not really into the female anatomy. But so all of that's fine and dandy, and it's good and it looks nice. But it's like walking into a candy store. Too much of that, it's going to make your teeth rot, and fall out. So I'm asking, the Filipino women, what are you going to do to get to come to the United States? Wiggling your behind isn't going to get you here. It's going to get you something that maybe some guy will come there for a vacation and have a good time, and leave a few bucks maybe for your time. But is he going to bring you here and then marry you and love you and keep you for the rest of his life? If that's your objective, you really need to sit down and make a plan. You need to find somebody that would be willing to do that would help you and that would be interested. And I don't mean send you money because I'm going to tell you the reason why that doesn't work is too many people are scamming. They figure it's like the cliche that is used, why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? Guys are on board with, why would I pay for something that I may not get? So they're not gonna, they're not so willing to do that because of those that have abused that to such a level that you've been stereotyped as the type of female that that will take that from wherever it's coming and say all the nice things to whoever will hear it, so that it keeps coming, and then that's how you squeak out a living. It's your little side hustle, or it's your little whatever. And they do that here, in other respects. They do a lot of things. Everyone has like what they would call a side hustle, but when you're hustling people, that really are genuinely interested, and you've attracted them by your wiggles and shakes or your smiles, then the man is either naive or thick in the head and think that's all there is to it, or he's willing to pay to see it, whatever. And you're willing to show it, for a buck, or two or 10 or 20 or whatever it is, how much ever they're sending you. You have to have some kind of something saved up, put aside. You have to lay out a plan. The master plan is that if you want to get a good husband, and they are out here, they are in the United States, you need to sit down and spell that out. You need to sit down, draw up a paper, and I don't mean a contract. Write down the pros and the cons, what you're willing to sacrifice, what you're going to have to go through. The culture changes, the weather changes. You have to set all that down. You have to sit down, think that out, and then ask yourself, is it worth it? Do I really want to do this? Why do I want to do it? Do I want a husband? What are we going to do when we're married? It's the honeymoon lasts for a minute, or for a time, I shouldn't say a minute, and it should last for your lifetime, but you're going to be doing other things together. Have some hobbies, have some goals, have some dreams, show off your education a little bit. So what you're bringing to the table, what you can offer a man besides your body parts, because that's going to get old after a while. You're going to have something else that you're contributing and bringing to the table. So I say all this to say, the smart Filipina, the one that really wants what she wants, you have to know it. You have to sit down. You have to write it down. Pros and cons. Make a list, Pros and cons meaning what's good about my decision to do this and what's bad about it. What could happen and what might happen, that type of stuff. You have to realize that we're living in a time in this world where there's all kinds of confusion. There's no one trusts nobody, not the government, not the police, not individuals. And for those that are really out there that are just hustling others for money, or for, livelihood, to have that be more improved, and they're doing it through dance or through a smile, you're really, really, I'm going to tell you, you're messing it up for a lot of people, not just yourself. So if it doesn't come to fruition, your scam or your hustle or your many guys that you have that are sending you, little tokens of their appreciation or affection towards you, when that's found out, they're going to tell everybody, stay away from those kind, and it is a stereotyping. We do it here. It's very common. People are stereotyped. That Asian people are stereotyped because of what happened in Wuhan, China. They think that that's where this coronavirus came from. That's stereotyping. So anyone that looks like that in appearance, right away, that's what they look at. They do it to blacks, they do it to whites, they do it to Hispanics, and they do it to Asians, So when you're not forward and honest with somebody, you're gonna attract a really bad, stereotypical, personality. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say today, and we'll talk about it and see if somebody will leave some comments and see how ready they are to come to the United States and meet a good man. Take care, Michael in Texas Jake.